All right, Francella, thanks very much. You know, President Trump has threatened to shut down the federal government unless Congress agrees to fund a border wall. We've heard them state this over and over again. Here to talk about the costs of the wall and what a government shutdown would mean is San Diego State University lecturer Seth Kaplowitz. Nice to have you here. You're from the firm of Blumberg Law Group, and your partner there. Welcome. Nice to have you here.
Thank you.
All right, so the president drops his bomb on us last week about shutting down the government unless his wall gets funded. What does that really mean?
In terms of the government shutting down itself?
Yeah,
if the government shuts down, the last time in 2013, it was estimated that it cost the government $24 billion. So there's $500 million is lost just from visitors to the national parks. There's 800,000 visitors that go to the national parks.
We're talking about national parks, so they just shut down. Nobody's working because no one's getting paid, right?
The IRS shuts down, but the Postal Service does not. In 1884, an Anti-Deficiency Act was put into place. President Reagan sort of modified that. But so if the government does shut down, the Anti-Deficiency Act kicks in, which basically says the military stays operational, public safety stays operational, but the IRS closed down, and other government agencies that are non-security focused will shut down.
What does that do to the government to be in a constant state of a threat of shutdown?
Well, it seems like we're always in a state of, every year it seems like every time a budget comes around that this is the cry. I find it really difficult to accept the fact that the president has threatened to shut the government down if he doesn't get funding for the wall. They really don't even know how much the wall is going to cost. The president's estimate is $7 billion. MIT's estimate is $35 billion. So somewhere in between those numbers is probably the accurate number, but they haven't even settled on a design yet, and they haven't factored in any of the ancillary things like eminent domain costs when they have to go through private property to put the wall up. They haven't factored in the possibility that since this land was once part of Mexico, that there might be Native American artifacts in the ground or burial grounds that once those get disturbed.
Lots of different issues that could impede. Is there any chance that the president and Congress can come to terms on this at all?
Well, one would hope. Right now, the relationship between Congress and the president is at its all-time high, and it really depends on whether or not they can make peace enough that they can get a budget passed. You've got like 4 issues. You've got Obamacare that needs to be dealt with, tax reform, the border wall, and social services. So
these are all agenda items that President Trump promised in his campaign that he would address, and so we'll see how that all goes. All right, thanks so much for being here, Seth. Appreciate your insight on this. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
we'll check back with you.
That's all we can do.
All right, thanks so much. Appreciate
Thank you.
it. All right.